What's up, everybody? Eagle here from sunny Arizona, the day after Memorial, and I had an idea. My caddy Aiden got virtually every shot that I threw at the Memorial. Shout out to him. I have aspirations of making a little more content, so I figure I'm gonna splice it all together and give a little bit of commentary on my Memorial experience, talk a little bit about what I'm throwing, walk you through kind of what happened throughout the tournament. And since it's still technically the off season, I think some of you guys could appreciate the content. So without further ado, let's watch. So for this tournament, I came down to Arizona 6 days early. It's kind of a way to get out of the cold Colorado winter. And actually the day before round one, I tweaked my back, and I told Terry Miller, because he wanted to put me on a feature card, and honestly, when I tweaked my back, I thought I wasn't going to play. So like, if you'll look at this round and see that I'm throwing very soft. It was definitely a bummer because I really changed the way I was throwing. Like hole one, I threw a delirium, which, I mean, usually I'm throwing like a thrill or even resistor. So a little unfortunate there. I got a bogey on one. On to hole two, it's like I'm still trying to just figure out kind of like how I feel. I was throwing a lot of forehands. I woke up in the morning and did a bunch of exercises. The good news is that it happened before, and I have a lot of good exercises, and I know exactly what to do when it does happen. So I was able to get myself back on track pretty quick, but I had like a lidocaine patch on my back, had to take some Advil, and you know, I woke up really early and was just trying to mitigate it. But you know, luckily, I thought I felt good enough to give it a try and play round one. So we're on hole 5 right here. I got the par, or what's that, hole 5 or hole 4? I don't know. This right here, this shot went OB, hits the side of the hill and rolls. I was just like leaning up against the curve. Got a good jump putt there. Throwing a little motion forehand on this hole. I used to always go up the gut, but I realized how easy a little spike forehand is onto the peninsula. As for my putter this year, I'm still putting with the Electron Firm Nomad. This shot, I was just throwing it nice and wide. There was a right to left wind, so you could afford to go around the tree. I put in Cosmic Neutron Envy in the bag. Been really liking that. It's nice and overstable. I got the birdie there. This hole is always very interesting. It's actually the hole Paul missed when he shot his 17 or 16 under. I threw it in the water. I had a proton photon that you know, I don't really care about, so that's what I was throwing there. This shot, I'm throwing the Gravity. Got the birdie. The forehand's feeling really good. Just as I say that, I leak it a little bit right. And if you want to go watch this like a more cohesive round, this was shot by a disc golf guy, so round one was filmed by him, so definitely go check it out. This shot was absolutely terrible right here. I was throwing the forehand in practice and parking it, but you know, I probably shouldn't have thrown forehand there. I just, you know, I had a little bit of lapse in judgment, didn't throw it well. But just throw a little hyzer here. I was just outside the circle there, and I didn't know if I should jump it or not. I didn't jump it. It was a pretty bad miss, but you know, it's hard on this course because there's so many, or I mean, I guess Fountain not as much, but Vista, you'll see, is there's so many elevated baskets. That's kind of what Memorial is known for. So you're constantly putting at different heights. So it's like you're putting low, you're putting high. You're mostly putting high, but yeah. This hole, you could see on that swing that I was very conservative. I threw a Gravity, which is like kind of like wind dragon stability. Normally I would throw like a thrill or dimension with a lot more spike hyzer, but you know, it wasn't coming out of the hand like that. This shot I threw a balance on. I was just outside the circle, a little step putt jab. Got the 2 there. Here again, I'm throwing that gravity that, you know, this is a hole where in practice I was throwing like nitro or thrill, so I'm like really having to disc up. But getting the birdie, you know, this round I got a lot of bogeys, unfortunately, and this right here, I'm throwing a wind dragon forehand and threw it really, really well. I normally take a big high spike hyzer, but put it in for a birdie. I birdied the last 4 in a row to get me to 7 under. 7 under at Fountain is not what I'm looking for, but at the very least, I got the last 4 to, you know, at least somewhat salvage my round. Today, I'm feeling a little bit better this round, and I threw a thrill off of 1, but still like trying to figure out how comfortable I am in my body. Throwing the forehand here with a panic, kind of a beat up, lightweight panic that flies pretty straight, generally speaking. This second shot, Eclipse Resistor. I feel like I executed the shot very well, just around that tree, just exactly what you want. So getting a birdie on hole 2. Throwing a thrill on this shot, and you know, leaving it a little bit short, unfortunately. And this putt was almost good, but it just hit a little bit too high and kind of hit the where there's chains kind of like cross over, and it sprung out. This little island hole, throwing a runway, not messing it up, which is good. Going Delirium off this hole. A new run of Delirium, I found this one that actually feels really good. It flies closer to a Dimension rather than Delirium. You saw that putt right there, that's kind of annoying, just a little bit right side. This hole, making the correction off of day 1, playing it left, putting it inside the circle, but the putter was feeling weird. It was like I made a lot of good putts this tournament, but at the same time I missed a lot of them just because I was like second guessing myself. So I never really felt like, I never knew if the putter was going in or not, but doing that little forehand spike again with the motion. Taking a Delirium off of this tee, hole 8, to pretty much the perfect spot. Little approach shot with a neutron stabilizer. And this was cool. You don't really see where this disc lands, but I go more inside. We have a nice left to right wind, which actually helps keep it a little bit, it has it land a little softer. And this is actually the first time I ever birdied hole 9 at Fountain, which I was super stoked about. This shot, I switch it up. I have a kind of a tailwind, so I throw a Plasma Octane. I actually got it at Spinners. Shout out Caleb Tucker. He bought it for me as kind of like a water disc, and I actually really like it. I'm throwing that Plasma Octane there too. I think I'm going to throw the Octane a lot more just because it's a little bit less stable. It's good for forehand. I was just outside the circle on that putt, and that was frustrating because it was absolutely terrible run. And this hole, the one I bogeyed yesterday and threw in the top of the tree, I threw it. It was like an ace run, and skipped out of bounds, and I'm in jeopardy of bogeying it again, which is not what you want. But I spin a jump putt in there, headwind, and was stoked not to bogey it. Throwing an NV here, a little bit more inside, getting the birdie. And this hole is frustrating. I was throwing a resistor, and I'm trying to protect my back and, you know, not throw with too much hyzer. I'm trying to like smooth it there, but just a bit of a yank, if you will. Get the par, going Delirium rather than Gravity like the day before, and definitely feeling a little bit better, but I yank it, and I'm outside the circle, and I'm just like, I swear I'm running those putts, but they look like layups. This is where I was like, I was pulling my shots too flat, leaving them too wide, and this is like one of the easiest holes on the course. Not getting the birdie there, very frustrating, because I shot a it was like 4 or 5 under on the front 9, and just not getting it done here on the back. But throw a nitro on this shot and gives the basket a little bit of a scare, getting a birdie. This one's, I'm not gonna call it a bonus birdie, but like 17 and 18 are definitely a little bit tougher, so getting them feels good. And this is me throwing the wind dragon that I threw at the top of the tree on that one hole the day prior. And shout out to the gentleman who actually climbed the tree to go get it. It was so high up there. But round 2, -9, 1034 rated. For me, I feel like -9 is kind of like the minimum score I'm looking to shoot at Fountain. Definitely looking to go double digits, but didn't get it done. And I can use the back as an excuse, but honestly, there was some problems on the putting green. But hole 1 right there, threw a really good shot and was able to get the birdie, throwing a panic on hole 2 and just pulling it a little bit too far left. Decent run there. The basket's kind of like tilted up. This hole is very simple, throwing Eclipse Resistor just on a little hyzer, skipping a little bit left, a little bit of a tester putt. I had a lot of tester putts this tournament. I feel like most of my putts were like in that like 25 to 30 foot range. So I was always like having to think about it. Throwing a nitro on this hole. Super good shot. It kind of hits the back wall, but put it in for birdie. I'm throwing a special disc right here that you guys will know about soon. Been really digging it. Just trying to get just laying up for par on that hole. It's a quadruple mando. Throwing a forehand with a Fission Dimension here. It's super beat up. You can get a lot of glide out of it. Puts me in a good position to throw a motion forehand, this motion is very, very not motion-like. It's more like a Tesla or even a Wrath, but really dig it. It's probably one of my go-to forehand discs. And this is actually the scene of the crime where I tweaked my back the day before the tournament. I just twisted on that turf tee pad, and it was a little too grippy, and it didn't really allow my feet to rotate, and I think that's what just caused some trouble there. But I take it off the dirt and not tweak my back, and I throw a Wrath just nice and smooth, put myself in position, throw a runway onto the island, and putt a little Sexton squeaker, as I like to call it, over the rim. Had a lot of those this past weekend. Throwing motion here, not really driving it forward or committing to it, unfortunately. And I'm like a foot outside the circle, so I give it a little jump putt, and kind of frustrating because those like circle's edge jumpers are something I'm starting to feel really confident with in practice, and missing that's a little frustrating. This shot, I was trying to go way safer, but I actually throw it really good, and I throw it pretty dang close, honestly, and I stab a putt in there, and that was a very unexpected birdie. That was like probably my best putt of the tournament. That's the first time I've ever birdied that hole, and I wasn't even trying to birdie it, so that was really cool. And this hole lost a lot of trees on the right side, so you used to have to take a roller or a forehand, so you can actually hang it out over the OB, but unfortunately I pull it OB, which is not what you want to do. But I put my approach shot under the basket. Throwing motion here. There's a bunch of mandos on this hole. I leak it a little bit left, and you'll see here I have to like take a stab forehand and get up there. I'm still pretty far away, probably about 50 or so feet, and I connect on the putt, which I'm not complaining about. I'm throwing one of my signature thrills here with a lab second stamp, just kind of like my water thrill, if you will. Still flies really good. Missed the putt, frustrating here because there's a long walk to the next hole if you've played Vista before, so definitely a little bit sad. Taking a big hyzer with a neutron delirium and pretty much park it. Good rebound after missing that last putt. This hole is always this is the hole that James Conrad hit the water bottle on. Didn't come back in bounds. I'm taking a Eclipse resistor, and right here I'm throwing Cosmic Neutron Envy, leaking it a little bit left. Not the most committed shot, kind of an easy up shot that I blundered, but another step putt. So there's a lot of long putt makes in the past couple holes. So luckily the putter was working from distance. I'm throwing Wind Dragon Roller here. We have a pretty strong left to right wind, and you can throw roller, but as you see, it's moving towards the fence, and there it goes, under the fence. There's a pretty big gap underneath there, but if you go further, there's actually kind of like some grass that prevents you from going under the fence. So I have to take an OB stroke here and have to do some fancy footwork and a weird follow through. I throw Eclipse resistor, really good shot. That was actually pretty difficult. So I was pretty stoked to put it where I did and save the par. Just a little frustrating that went under the fence. And throwing that kind of special motion forehand right here and get up inside the circle. This one's a pretty treacherous hole because it's on a slope and an elevated basket. Really close, and just like, yeah. I putted that too flat uphill. It was just coming in on a bad angle, and the chains essentially it sprang loaded the putter and just pushed it out, unfortunately. And then missing the island is really terrible. Like, that's a pretty bad blunder. And I'm at 9 under at this point. Have a really good round going, and I make another outside the circle putt to save par. And 18, I take a Neutron Thrill, put it in the circle, and you think I'm putting well, but I can't make an inside the circle putt to finish. I really wanted that putt to shoot 10 under. That would have been an outright the hot round, but it was tied for the hot round, 1060 rated at Vista, and now we're up playing the final round. Can't recreate the shot from the day prior with the resistor. Pitch it up, get the par, nothing too crazy. I'm throwing a neutron, or plasma octane here. Don't turn it quite enough. Get a good little kick off the tree, probably around 50 feet here. Make the putt. Stoked to get that after missing hole 1. Eclipse resistor off of hole 3. Just swinging it in there. Leaks a little bit left to that tester putt range. Just squeaking it over the rim yet again. I threw the nitro the day prior, but my back was feeling better and better as the days went on, fortunately. So I disked down to the Neutron Thrill, and as you can see, I put it right on the pin, which is what I want. I want more of, more shots where I don't have to putt. Taking this shot, just laying up. A lot of people I play with do run that, and it is a bonus birdie, but I'm completely content with taking a par there. This shot, unfortunate, leak it a little bit right, hits the tree, and right there, I'm just completely out of position. I have so much room on the right side, and for some reason, I decided to swing it way left and hit this tree, and you see right there, red flag. That's a big no-no, big blunder. Like, there's no reason for this to happen. So Cosmic Neutron Envy approach, take my medicine. I was at 3 under, I went to 2 under. Scene of the crime hole, I went a Wrath day prior, and I decided to go nitro because I wanted a little bit more speed, but I just pull it and it hits the out of bounds, rides the sidewalk, and fortunately, you can see it just came back in bounds. I take my runway right here and put it on the island. Going a little fast, I'm at the backside of the island and squeaking it over the rim yet again. Neutron motion here. I wasn't throwing it down and driving it forward. I was just kind of swooping my arm, and about a 40-footer here, just low. That one felt good out of my hand. It just didn't glide enough. Instead of going fission, wind drag, and dimension, do gravity, which is just a little bit more overstable. Don't get quite as close. Don't really have a run. Pitch up for par. This is like probably the most bonus hole on the course. Making the adjustment of day prior, instead of going Wrath backhand, I took a neutron gravity on a flex shot. And I'm in position. I'm throwing a little bit longer of a forehand second shot with that motion, and getting the birdie there. Getting the birdie. Now, instead of going motion like the day before, I wanted some more speed, so I go nitro and definitely get a little bit more distance. Leak it left, which is a little annoying. You ideally want to be looking straight at it, so I have to throw this kind of air bounce shot with the Cosmic Neutron Envy, but I execute it fairly well. Squeaking it over the rim. Simon, if you're watching, you're probably like, how is he doing this? I am throwing that Neutron Thrill, my water thrill, putting it just inside the circle, similar to the prior day, and dead calm. I am taking my time on this putt and leaving it high. I was probably the most frustrated of any putt of the weekend on that one for whatever reason. I parred and then I had to walk back in sorrow yet again. Neutron Delirium. I hit the tree, but I get a good kick, pretty close, get the birdie. Eclipse Resistor, just putting on a hyzer. I threw it a little bit harder than the day before. Not really flirting with that Mando tree, but putting it in pretty much perfect position. Throwing a forehand with a special disc that you guys are actually going to know about in the next couple days, honestly. So I'm excited to share that with you. Getting the birdie, doing the roller on this hole, and making the correct adjustment, putting it a little bit more cut and having it go further to not roll under the fence. Throwing a Eclipse Flare right here, just spiking it in there, stabbing it in, just over the rim again. Throwing the Neutron Motion like the day before, and a little bit high, I kind of nick a branch that actually helped it out. Putting it just inside the circle, and this is easily the scariest putt at Vista. At this point, I'm at 9 under or 8 under, and I'm thinking like I'm gonna hit the cage, roll out of bounds, and my happiness will be gone. But sticking the island, I actually put a Neutron Deflector in the bag just for that shot. I could throw it a little bit flatter and trust it a little bit more. And hole 18, Neutron Thrill, taking a spike hyzer, have a little bit of headwind, which actually helped because it helped me manage the distance a little bit more. Hits the bottom of the cage actually, and tap in for 11 under, 1067 rated round. I actually birdied 8 of the last 9, 4th place, 1044 average, and $2,000. Thank you, Aiden, for getting the footage and being an awesome caddy for the whole week. And it was a fun tournament. Really excited to have started the year down here in Arizona. And it might be one of the last memorials, or at least memorials at Vista, because the park is going to undergo some renovations, if you will, and the future of Vista is kind of uncertain. But shout out to Spinners, the guys who TD'd the event. It's always a fun event to come play. I remember playing Memorial 10 years ago. It's kind of an iconic event. It was always the kickoff to the national tour and even the pro tour. So I have a lot of good memories coming here and creating more good memories. They're shorter courses, and by today's standards, they're probably not Pro Tour caliber, but there's something about them that is special. So I'm fortunate that I was able to come down and take it in potentially one last time. So 1044, that's going to help my rating in the next update. So feeling good. Unfortunately, the back wasn't ideal, but I'm excited how fast my body rebounded, because like I said, I genuinely thought I wasn't going to be able to play the tournament. So to get it done and get fourth, 36 under, pretty happy that I was able to play. And it's always speculation, but I was feeling really good in practice. My game feels good. I have a good feeling about this year. Like, the forehand is ripping out of my hand, and I'm not even throwing it that hard. And the putt is working, even though it feels bad. I'm going to work on disking down a little bit. If you listen to the last podcast, that hashtag crushed pepper, Joey, Tamale, Simon Lazat, and myself, we're talking about, would you rather throw a disc or disc up and throw a disc soft, or disc down and throw a disc hard? I usually pick the option of throwing softer discs hard, and this tournament really made me throw those faster discs softer. I think once I get the coordination down, it'll be better for longevity, but also for control. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be looking to post a little bit more frequently. I have a few video ideas in the pipeline that you're gonna wanna subscribe for and be on the lookout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, keep on dreaming, and peace.